What's up, guys? Francis Rumors here, back with another video. Today I'm here with Gian. We've
Hello.
partnered up. We finally reunited
Yep,
in.
it's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while, but we are reunited
Mm.
in difficult times. Switzerland did leave, tragically, even though we should have won.
Mm-hmm.
But a team
And
that shouldn't have
it's
won was England. And they did Brexit the year as Gian
yes.
was watching it, and he was. I don't know,
Uh,
what were you doing?
I mean, I was first of all screaming, and my dad was really angry, and then it became this laughter. It was a joke at halftime. My dad told me, "You know what? We're out." I like no, you kind of have to have more faith, and you ended up being right. The sad thing is, we bought tickets a while back to the quarterfinal in Saint Denis, France
And now
versus
France,
Iceland.
Iceland. You're
Now
going to support Iceland. Come on, Iceland.
we're gonna support Iceland. Well,
I
I'm going
mean,
to.
like if
My
you're
my
gonna
dad
get
says,
like
"Don't support Iceland."
England
No,
got humiliated, right? So if we
definitely.
might as well, Iceland might as well win the Euros, so it doesn't
I
make England
I
look as
want
bad.
I, I want them to win the Euros, but
Yeah, so it doesn't make England look bad. But
doesn't it
like
won't it
but
won't.
it still
And
makes
I
them look bad.
one perspective I want to talk about is nobody seems to understand how embarrassing it is that Leicester won the Premier League. Sure, it's a great story, but for the teams like Arsenal and Spurs, they should be feeling how England are feeling now. And I think this is the most appropriate thing to follow up what happened to Leicester is the
I
fact that
honestly think this is how I feel really bad for those young players that because they played their heart out.
oh no,
You look at Rooney.
they didn't. I mean, you
No,
look
like
at
Rashford. I'm
a
talking
few of
about
them, a
Rashford.
few
Like
of
the
them,
one
a few
Rashford. They
of them
played their
did.
heart out.
A
Rashford
few
played
of
his
them
heart.
did.
You saw
Rashford did.
Rashford come on, and he
Rose did.
was no, yeah. I'm
Rose,
talking. Yeah, I'm talking about those guys.
yeah, I
When
mean,
Rashford came on, he had so much pace. He was just running. He was trying to get a goal. You look at Rooney. What the hell was Rooney doing? Sure, he scored a penalty, but he hasn't done anything.
I think we just look at who didn't perform, and we don't want to say that this is going to contribute to the media hype. But I think first thing to start off by saying is that this is can only happen to England, and they just played so terribly. It was a joke. These players are playing millions of pounds, and I mean we make a joke about it, but it is literally just a travesty how these a goalkeeper who's a part-time film director
Yes.
managed to keep out Wayne Rooney and Dele Alli and Harry Kane for 90 minutes. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It really is. And Joe Hart. I mean,
But
I hate
in
to do
that
it, but
sense,
I think that once again, international football. And this proves international football should be what's known as a meritocracy. Basically, it's you pick the players that are performing the best at that second. Don't go into a tournament with having just no not having an open mind. You should have an open mind to who you're going to select. And then at the same time, once you're in the tournament, you should know that 11 right away. I think Fraser Foster should have started from the beginning of the tournament. It shouldn't have been changed at all. And I think the fact that
I
they
mean,
are
after
changed,
that blunder that Joe Hart did,
yeah, I
uh,
mean, you
and you look
can't
at the way
change.
he played, he wasn't that great in all the other matches. And England, against Russia as well. They just there's a thing with England when they score, they suddenly turn off.
But I'm very worried for Joe Hart. Like I mean, I say I want Fraser Foster to start because not because I think Joe Hart is bad. I think it's because this is a lesson that you take the players on form. Where was Drinkwater when you needed him? Where was Danny Simpson when you needed
We
him?
said at the start of
Where,
the tournament,
yeah,
wheelchair Wilshire will not do anything, and
yeah,
I think he hasn't done anything. He hasn't.
yeah.
Look, he needed to fill in the shoes of Danny Drinkwater, and he didn't at all.
You
Nothing.
have to take the players that are doing well. And I
But
don't
the thing is,
say that.
Jamie Vardy didn't start any of the matches.
Yeah,
He always came on as a sub, right?
yeah.
I didn't understand why he didn't start them against. He didn't start Vardy against Iceland. I think he should have. Even even if it wouldn't have changed the score, I think he just should have started Vardy. I think that would have been a better option. You look at Sturridge; he may have played well against Wales, and but still, I think that Vardy would have been a better option to start off with.
Always, always. And don't want people to get me wrong. I'm not blaming Joe Hart for the loss at all. I'm not blaming Joe Hart whatsoever. I think every single player needs to look at themselves and say we're playing for our country, and we just put in the worst performance of our lives. They were just rubbish from start to finish, and there's no excuse for how poorly they
Okay,
played.
can I? I'm gonna compare this to what happened to Switzerland. Okay, we in the first half we were completely turned off. In the second half, we turned on, and then you look at England. I thought England was gonna 2-1 down.
Turn
Like
on,
I want
yeah,
them
but
like wake up now. It's time to wake up. This is time. You're losing. I think with Switzerland when we were losing, we are like shit. We're actually losing. They didn't actually realize it until the second half. That's when we started pushing, and then in extra time we are getting so many opportunities.
that's
You
because
look
you
at
have a manager who can turn around into his players and say, "Let's do better."
yeah,
I think
but
Roy Hodgson just couldn't do that, and I'm very glad that he knew when to step down because I think that many of these England players, you look at Leo Messi, who
Last night
knew
in the
when
Copa America.
he knew when to step down. He knew when he couldn't do anything else for his country. These England players,
But
I
just talking
think,
about the Copa America, that happened yesterday. When he missed that penalty, you could see by his face that he had let his country down. He felt it. I think when after the England match, I don't think
they felt it. Yeah, I
they
think
didn't feel it.
they need to play better, and they didn't. They just didn't do it. I think that we could look at from one perspective of what the media is going to do to these players. They were afraid the entire second half. They were not bothered about winning the game. They were just scared about what's going to happen to me tomorrow when I return home, and I'm
Yeah,
going to get attacked by everyone. I don't think that that's a good thing to do.
yeah,
Um, I originally wrote an article attacking these players and how poorly they played, and also in this article I made a bit of fun of Brexit and how it's leaving Europe twice in a few days, which is
yeah.
embarrassing for them. But I think that at the end of the day, you can't just keep hating on the players. I think that it's a football match. Anyone can win a football match, and the British media consistently fails to understand that expectation is what ruins their chances. And it's the media has made an environment where it is impossible for the national team to succeed.
All right. But talking about the manager again, who do you think would have been a better choice? Because I was talking to Darren, and Darren was saying Harry Redknapp should have had the job.
For sure, definitely. I
Yeah,
have forgotten the job. I think right now the Gareth Southgate and Gary Neville
but you look.
cannot
I'm looking at the younger
replace
guys now.
Hudson.
I want to see a young manager.
Yeah,
You look at
Eddie Howe is the one.
Eddie Howe. You look at
Eddie Howe is the one.
what's his name, the Burnley manager.
Sean Dyche, he's mental.
Yeah, you look at Sean Dyche.
I'd like him. I'd like him, but he's mental.
But you look at guys. You look at guys like that.
I,
Those are the
but
guys we need to
you look
be.
at the Norwich manager who got earlier, Alex Neil. He's pretty decent. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean Dyche, pretty
Oh, he's
decent.
Scottish though. Jan,
Who's Scottish?
the Norwich manager.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
He's Scottish, man. Come on, he's gonna be leaving the United Kingdom.
No, he's gonna be staying. I mean, he's gonna be staying once the British realize, oh shit, what have we done? Let's negotiate. Let's negotiate everything back. Let's protect. Let's negotiate a deal which is identical to the EU members and actually being in the EU just to
Boris
fool our
Johnson.
own citizens. Once England gets to that point, I will laugh so much. But actually, yeah, I think Scottish independence is a real thing now.
Yeah, Boris
It's definitely
Johnson.
a real thing now. Boris Johnson is he's Britain's Donald Trump.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, do you see what you saw what Donald Trump said about in Scotland? You see what he said?
yes,
Bloody
yeah,
hell! He could have literally said nothing and would have meant the same exact thing.
yeah,
He
yeah,
said
yeah.
he said what is he like? It's good, and then
It's
he
a
said it's
very
bad.
beautiful
And then he's
thing,
like
but it was
he's like it's a beautiful thing, but it's peaceful. And then he's just like, and
it
it's
was
not peaceful. It wasn't peaceful. And then
it
at
was
the end,
ugly. It was ugly.
he's like it's a great thing.
It's a
He literally could have said nothing, and that would have been meant the same amount of stuff he did. But
yeah.
anyway, we gotta track back to
Talking about who's going to replace Roy Hodgson. I mean,
yeah.
I've heard some very scary things, like Alan Pardew and Roberto Martinez.
Well, I mean, I like Alan Parde's dancing, so that would work.
How bad would
But the
John Stones
Vikings have taken over England once again.
once again?
Once again. I mean, you saw then, you see how much it means to these Icelandic players, and you can't. At the same time, I felt really bad. But you look at how much it means to Iceland, and you look at how England felt after the match. I think Iceland deserved it, just because they played tremendously well, and you have to give it to them. They were incredible in that match. I mean, the way they bounced back, 1-0 down, they bounced back 3 minutes later, and then was it 20th minute, right?
Yep.
And they scored a lovely goal as well. I'm looking out for Bjarnason now. I think Basel, his price tag's gonna go up a lot. And you look at Johnson as well, 38 years old, still playing. He must imagine how he's feeling now. If 2 years ago, you know what happened.
Hmm?
2 years ago, he said, "I don't want to play for Iceland. I want to quit from the national team. I want to retire fully."
Yeah.
The manager convinced him to stay and said, "We need your presence." And now they're in the quarterfinals of the Euros.
Finals, yeah, and I think they can win the whole thing. I think that there is nothing more appropriate to follow Leicester winning the Premier League than to hammer it home
I
with
think
Iceland winning
it's like
the Euros.
every neutral wants Iceland to win the Euros now.
Yeah.
I think Germany will beat Italy though, and it will be a tough task in the semifinals if they do
I
beat
think
France.
if they beat, I mean, I've often said this, France tactically are easier to beat than any other team that they've played.
I
I
mean,
think
Thierry Henry
France
disagrees.
tactically don't make sense.
Thierry Henry, he said when they were making fun of him for the handball, if you saw the video, um,
Yeah.
basically he said after, he's like, if it was a manager of board, I would give it to Didier Deschamps. Didier Deschamps. Didier.
I don't agree with his tactics at
Yeah,
all.
I don't agree with him either.
I think that what he does, this Rams, is he knows he has a target man up front, but he refuses to cross the ball. He plays players that want to play through the middle. And then when he takes off Giroud and puts on Gignac, like he does every single game, then they start crossing and the fullbacks are coming up, and then there's no one in the box to head it. I think that just he hasn't set up his team properly. And I think that
Yeah.
Iceland, with enough preparation, enough studying, can beat that team.
I
It is
mean, when
possible.
you've got a film director in the goal, you can't even score on him. Then how are you expected to score on freaking
I
Neuer?
think if Iceland win, he'll direct the film of their success. And you're like, oh, this is a great story.
Yeah.
And it's a
So,
population the same place as Leicester. I think that is good omen right there.
yeah, I want to see where these players go next season. Honestly, it's gonna be very very interesting. If
It
they
is.
do, I think if they make it to semifinals, they will. They're gonna have a lot of players going to bigger clubs. You look at Sigurdsson, both of the Sigurdssons, they played extremely well,
Yeah.
and Gyan's still a little bit depressed.
I am a little bit depressed because I booked tickets to watch England France, and I'm going to watch Iceland France.
But at least you can sit with Iceland fans.
I hope so. I don't know what the French. I also the Iceland France.
Yeah, can you buy me an Iceland shirt?
Sure, if they
It's
win the
it's
Euros.
KSI's name
It's
on it.
KSI's shirt, yeah.
Illuminati confirmed KSI is helping Iceland win the Euros.
That's how they get their funding. They get his
They,
money.
they get his YouTube money.
It's, that's
But I
how
mean,
their
in the sense,
tickets.
I think this is better than Leicester. If they win, I think it'll be a better story than Leicester because you look at the pool of the players they have.
Yeah,
They don't get to select. I
yeah,
mean,
that's true.
they don't get
Yeah,
to select how the quality of the players. Unlike Leicester, they can bring in decent players. They brought in Conte. They look at Iceland. They can't do that in national teams. You can't do that. You just have
I
to work with what you have, and I think they've done that.
I don't support international football because I think that
I love international football.
it it's a bit like a scramble to get the team together. Just you have a few resources. You can't really do
You don't have a
much.
lot of time to
You don't have a lot of
prepare.
time. Yeah, you don't have time to work with the players. But I think that I think it'd be even more miraculous if Iceland could win. Even the odds won't be they're much less than 5,000 to one. I think they're about 100 something
Yeah,
to not 5,000, but it will be amazing if Iceland could go all the
yeah.
way. And I think as someone who's supporting England, I want Iceland to go all the way in this tournament.
All right. So does that sum it up? Do you have anything else to add?
England were terrible. They
Well,
should have.
maybe when we go to Russia, Guyana, and you're in your cage, maybe England
Oh
will
God, I'm
play
not going to
better.
Russia, man. Have you seen what the fans? I'm not going to Russia now. Look at the fans. The fans have been doing here. If they're this bad away, what are they going to be like at home?
I'm
God,
bringing you to Russia for free, Guyana.
I'm not going to Russia. I don't want to die.
Yeah, you won't die. You'll be in a cage. You'll be safe.
They're freaking gangsters. I don't want to go there. If they're this bad away, what are they like at home? And honestly, I think this is a good topic for another video. I call the video, by the way. You can't post it. No, it's
What?
that I think awarding the World Cup to Russia is a bigger mistake than to Qatar.
Well, I'm bringing you to Russia, yeah.
Okay, good luck forcing me.
Okay. Thank you for
Right.
watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy, please smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. And links in the description to Gyan's stuff.
Yes,
We
thank
have
you.
the podcast on iTunes. I put it
That's
on there for him.
That's it. Hello.
All right. And we'll see you next time. Peace.